Hello and welcome to the first video on my YouTube channel. My name's Toby, and in this video I'm going to tell you who I think is the best player from every Premier League club. Starting with Arsenal, I think that the best player on the team is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. His stats last season were amazing, with 22 goals in 36 Premier League appearances and 29 goals in 44 appearances over all competitions. He's also been known to play in a number of positions, like left wing, striker and occasionally right wing. For me, despite the quality in Arsenal's team, picking Aubameyang is a no-brainer. Next, I think the best player on Aston Villa is Jack Grealish. Granted, the stats from last season don't really show off his skills, with an average number of about 18 goal involvements in 41 appearances over all competitions. 10 goals and 8 assists is still one of the more impressive stats though, and I think that the way he plays is crucial to Aston Villa. Recently, Aston Villa and all their players have been showing the fans their quality with some big wins and currently holding 6th place in the Premier League, but I still think that Jack Grealish deserves to be named the best at the club. Now I'm going to say that the best player on Brighton and Hove Albion is Neal Maupay. Now I don't watch Brighton play an awful lot, but based on the stats, Maupay seems to have a crucial role in the team considering they played him in every single Premier League game last season. He was Brighton's top scorer with 10 goals in 38 appearances last season. But it's looking like he'll do better this year with 4 goals in 7 Premier League games so far this season, so based on the stats, he seems like the obvious choice for me. Next up are Burnley, and for this club one name instantly enters my mind, Nick Pope, with 15 clean sheets in the Premier League last season. Having watched him play several times on TV, I'd say that despite his skills in distributing the ball, his skill as a goalkeeper make me put him at the top of Burnley's squad. Hopefully he can do well for England. Now for Chelsea, and a few people might disagree with this, but I would choose Timo Werner. I know he's still settling into the club, but his stats last season were absolutely insane. I mean 34 goals and 13 assists for Leipzig across all competitions in 45 appearances. If that isn't worthy of being the best player at your club, then what is? For me, he's the obvious choice. Next, Crystal Palace. I think here the choice for me is Wilfried Zaha. Obviously last season the stats weren't looking too good for him, with only 9 goal involvements in 39 games. But this season he's gotten off to a quick start with 5 goals and 2 assists in just 8 games. Obviously though, he was a big part of Palace last year, having played every single Premier League game, and he deserves to be recognised as the best of the lot. Now I have to pick one for Everton. This was a tough pick, but in the end I opted for James Rodriguez. Of course, last time he really shone bright was in the 2016-17 season, but I think he'll really break through at Everton. He's already showing his former self at Everton with 7 goal involvements in only 8 matches. Hopefully he can get past his injury and continue his run of form. Next up is Fulham, and I feel like here I just have to pick Aleksandar Mitrovic. He scored 26 goals for Fulham in 41 appearances last season in the Championship and earned his side promotion. Of course, this season he's gotten off to a slow start, scoring 3 goals in 10 matches, but the Premier League has more contests than the Championship, and hopefully over time he'll come to adapt to the competition that the Premier League offers. Now for Leeds. After a long time being in the Championship, they're finally back up in the Premier League, and they couldn't have done it without Calvin Phillips. He's the dominant defensive midfielder that every club needs, and while he doesn't offer much in terms of goals or assists, he dominates the possession game and puts key passes in for Leeds. Next is Leicester, and I think the obvious choice here is Jamie Vardy, winning the Golden Boot with 23 goals in the Premier League last season, and getting Leicester a Europa League place shows his quality. And it doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. With 8 goals and 1 assist in 7 Premier League appearances, age doesn't seem to be a problem for Jamie Vardy, and he and Leicester are currently leading the league with 18 points. Liverpool, the current Premier League champions. This squad is full of great players, but if I had to choose one, I'd pick Virgil van Dijk, despite the fact that he might be out for the season. He's a brick wall in defence and was one of the key players to Liverpool's victory last season. The way he plays is just amazing, and in a few years he's risen to the top of top-flight football. I might even say that he's one of the best defenders in the world. Now for Manchester City. This team as well is full of amazing players, and they're the favourites to win the Premier League this year. Their best player for me, though, is Kevin De Bruyne. Last season he was involved in 39 goals across all competitions in 48 appearances and absolutely dominated the midfield. He's got amazing free kicks too. No wonder he won Premier League Player of the Year last season. He's not disappointing this season either, with 8 goal involvements in 10 matches so far. Now for Manchester United, I've picked Bruno Fernandes. Even though he only joined the club in January last season and only played 14 matches, in those 14 matches he managed to get 15 goal involvements. That's pretty amazing. And he's the main reason that Man United have gotten the Champions League space this year. Now Newcastle. Again, I don't watch them play that much, but based on the stats, I'd have to say Martin Dubravka. I mean, getting the most saves in the Premier League in the 1920 season was quite an achievement, making 140 saves total. He deserves to be named Newcastle's best player, despite their quality elsewhere on the pitch. For Sheffield, I don't watch them play that much, so again I'm just going off the stats, so I'm going to say Oliver Norwood. He got the most passes for Sheffield last season and did well in their midfield, but didn't really contribute goal-wise. Nonetheless, he contributed to them getting 9th place last season. However, this season, Sheffield have yet to get a win in the Premier League and are in last with only 1 point. Next is Southampton, and here I think the obvious choice is Danny Ings. With 22 goals in the Premier League, he came tied second with Kwabena for goals in the Golden Boot, and this season he's already gotten 7 goal involvements in 7 appearances in the Premier League. Hopefully he can move past his injury and continue to get goals for Southampton, who are currently in 4th in the Premier League. Now for Tottenham. For this club, I'd have to say Harry Kane. Last season he got 24 goals in 34 appearances, helping Spurs at least get a place in the Europa League after coming back from his injury, and this season he's doing even better with 23 goal involvements for Spurs in just 14 games across all competitions. Mourinho has got him to play in a deeper position and this is helping him get more assists, but he's not stopping scoring either though. He's one of the main reasons Spurs are holding 2nd place in the Premier League. For West Brom, I have to pick Matheus Pereira. Last season for West Brom, he got 20 assists and 8 goals in 43 appearances. This helped West Brom get promoted to the Premier League, but he's in a similar situation to Mitrovic. He's off to a slow start and is still adapting to top-flight football. Next up is West Ham, and for them, I'd have to pick Declan Rice. Like Calvin Phillips, he doesn't often get goals or assists, but he does well as a defensive midfielder and keeps possession well for West Ham. He has lots of potential and can grow to be a great player. And finally, Wolves. For this team with a lot of good players, it's tough to pick, but in the end I would choose Raul Jimenez. Last season he was involved in 37 goals in 55 matches and was extremely close to getting Wolves a spot in the Europa League and lost out on it to Spurs only on goal difference. Well guys, I hope you liked my video. Please subscribe to me to see more and also leave a like. As well, if you think I'm wrong and have your own best player, then let me know in the comments. Also, who is the best player at your club? See you in the next video.